I stared at my phone, reading the message for the third time. Thanksgiving is family only. Find somewhere else to eat. My mother's words glowed on the screen like a neon sign announcing my exile. I sat in my office above Luna's restaurant, watching the security camera feed as my family arrived at the entrance below. My mother Margaret, my brother Brandon, my sister Stephanie. Behind them came my Uncle Patrick, my Aunt Helen, cousins I'd grown up with. 15 people total. A full Thanksgiving celebration, without me. My finger hovered over the intercom button. Then I pressed it. Danny, cancel the Harrison reservation. 20 minutes later, my phone exploded. I watched my mother's face on the camera screen, red with fury, as she screamed at my manager. Then my phone rang. Mom, why won't they seat us? My hand trembled as I watched the call go to voicemail. Once, twice, 7 times. Each ring felt like another nail in the coffin of our relationship. I couldn't answer. Not yet. Not when my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The security footage showed my mother gesturing wildly at Danny, my restaurant manager. Her mouth moved rapidly. I knew that look. That was her "how dare you embarrass me" face. I'd seen it countless times growing up. I pulled up the text message again. Thanksgiving is family only. Find somewhere else to eat. But there was more. I scrolled up to the message from this morning, the one that had started this whole nightmare. We're having Thanksgiving at Luna's, just the real family. You've made your choice. Real family. The words stung like acid. What choice had I made? 3 months ago, I'd asked to borrow $20,000 from our family savings fund to open Luna's. My mother had looked at me like I'd asked to burn down her house. Restaurants fail, Ariel, she'd said, her voice dripping with disappointment. You have a nursing degree, a good, stable career. Why would you throw that away? I'm not throwing anything away, Mom. I'm following my dream. Your dream? She'd laughed, but there was no humor in it. Your dream is going to leave you broke and desperate, and don't come crying to me when it does. But I'd opened Luna's anyway. I'd worked 18-hour days for 3 months. I'd perfected every recipe, trained every staff member, built relationships with local suppliers. And it had paid off. Luna's was thriving. We were booked solid every weekend. Food critics loved us. Customers left glowing reviews. My mother never came. Not once. She never congratulated me, never asked how business was going. Instead, I'd heard from my Aunt Helen that Mom had been telling everyone at her hospital. Ariel abandoned her family for money. She chose greed over her own mother. Now, watching the security feed, I saw something that made my blood run cold. My mother wasn't just talking to Danny. She was showing him something. I zoomed in on the camera. A check, a large one from what I could see. And her lips were moving in a very specific pattern. I'd learned to read lips as a kid when my best friend was deaf. This is a private party, my mother was saying. If Ariel shows up, don't let her in. She's banned from this celebration. Banned. She hadn't just excluded me. She'd actively forbidden my presence. My phone buzzed. A text from Brandon. What the hell, Ariel? You're embarrassing Mom in front of everyone. Then, Stephanie, you're so petty. This is why nobody wants you around. I felt tears prickling at my eyes, but I blinked them away. No, I wouldn't cry. Not over this. My phone rang again. Uncle Patrick this time. I answered. Ariel Marie Harrison, what is wrong with you? His voice boomed through the speaker. Your mother planned this beautiful family dinner, and you're turning her away on Thanksgiving? Uncle Patrick, she told me to find somewhere else to eat. She didn't want me there. That's not what she told us. She said you were too busy with your restaurant to join the family. She said you'd chosen work over Thanksgiving. We felt sorry for her, Ariel, a mother abandoned by her daughter on the holidays. The call ended before I could respond. I pulled up Facebook on my laptop and my stomach dropped. Uncle Patrick had posted 20 minutes ago. Ariel Harrison refuses to serve her own mother on Thanksgiving. What kind of daughter does this? 47 comments already. I scrolled through them, each one a fresh wound. Disgusting behavior. I always knew that girl was selfish. Margaret raised her alone after her father died, and this is the thanks she gets? That restaurant should be shut down. Who wants to eat at a place run by someone with no family values? My phone rang again, and again, and again. Cousins, family friends, people I hadn't spoken to in years, all calling to tell me what a terrible person I was. I tried calling Brandon back. He answered on the first ring. Brandon, please listen to me. Mom told me not to come. She said family only. Find somewhere else to eat. I have the text message. You're lying, Ariel. Mom would never do that. I can show you the message. I can show you the security footage of her paying Danny and telling him to ban me from my own restaurant. Security footage? You're spying on your own family now? That's sick. The line went dead. I felt like I was drowning. Every time I tried to explain, I dug the hole deeper. Every attempt to defend myself made me look worse. Then my laptop pinged. A notification from Google. Someone had left a review on Luna's. 1 star. Owner has no respect for family values. Refused to serve her own mother on Thanksgiving. Heartless. Then another. What kind of person bans their mother from a restaurant? Will never eat here. And another. Disgusting behavior from the owner. Do not support this business. In 30 minutes, 23 one-star reviews appeared. I recognized the names. Uncle Patrick, Aunt Helen, cousins Jessica, Tyler, and Megan, family friends, people my mother had clearly rallied. Danny called. Boss, we have a problem. Customers are calling to cancel their reservations. They're saying they don't want to support a business that treats family this way. How many cancellations? 8 so far, all for next week. 8 reservations. That was nearly $2,000 in revenue. Gone. I slumped in my chair, staring at the ceiling. I tried to stand up for myself. I tried to show my mother that she couldn't just exclude me and expect me to roll over. But somehow, I'd become the villain. My email pinged. The subject line made my heart stop. You need to know the truth. The sender was listed as Jenna Foster. I didn't recognize the name. I opened it cautiously. Dear Ariel, I used to work with your mother at General Hospital. I'm writing anonymously because I'm afraid of what she'll do if she finds out. Your mother has been planning this for weeks. She told everyone at the hospital that you're an ungrateful daughter who abandoned your family for money. She wanted to publicly humiliate you. I've attached screenshots of a group chat she has with your brother and sister. I'm sorry. You deserve to know what you're dealing with. Stay strong. My hands shook as I opened the attachment. A screenshot of a text conversation dated 3 weeks ago. Thanksgiving plan. Book Luna's, ban Ariel, then cancel and blast her publicly. She needs to learn that family comes first. She chose that restaurant over us. Time to show her the consequences. Are you sure, Mom? That seems harsh. She needs to learn respect. Trust me. What if she fights back? With what? She has no proof. And even if she did, who would believe her over her own mother? I've been building my reputation in this community for 30 years. She's been here 3 months. This will destroy her little dream, and then she'll come crawling back. And when she does, I'll be there to mold her the way I should have from the start. Each time, the words became sharper, cutting deeper. Each time, the words became sharper, cutting deeper. Each time, the words became sharper, cutting deeper. This wasn't about Thanksgiving. This wasn't even about the restaurant. This was about control. My mother wanted to break me, to force me back into the life she'd planned for me. My phone rang. The bank. Miss Harrison, this is Robert Chen from First National. We've received several complaints about your business today. In light of the negative publicity, we need to schedule a meeting to review your loan terms. What does that mean? It means we need to assess whether Luna's remains a viable investment for the bank. The meeting is set for Monday at 9 a.m. Please bring all financial records. The call ended. I sat in the dark office, surrounded by the evidence of my mother's betrayal, watching my dream crumble in real time. I tried to protect myself. I tried to fight back. But every move I made only made things worse. The hole was getting deeper, and I had no idea how to climb out. I didn't sleep that night. I spent hours staring at my phone, reading and rereading the screenshots Jenna had sent. My mother's words echoed in my head. She'll come crawling back. By 5 a.m., I'd made a decision. I couldn't let her win. I had to fight back. I opened Facebook and started typing. Before you judge me, you need to know the truth. My mother deliberately banned me from my own restaurant on Thanksgiving. She told me to find somewhere else to eat because Thanksgiving was family only. I have the text messages to prove it. I attached a screenshot of my mother's message. Thanksgiving is family only. Find somewhere else to eat. My finger hovered over the post button. This was it. This would clear my name. People would see that I wasn't the villain here. I pressed post. Within minutes, the comments started rolling in. Then my mother commented, "Ariel, I'm heartbroken that you would twist my words like this. I said that because you told me last week you were working on Thanksgiving and couldn't join us. I made other plans to give you the space you said you needed. Now you're playing the victim and making me look like a monster? I raised you better than this." I stared at the screen in disbelief. That wasn't true. I'd never said I was working. I never said I couldn't join them. She was lying. But the comments were already shifting. Your mother is right. You're twisting her words. You told her you were working, and now you're mad she made other plans? That's manipulative. I feel so sorry for Margaret. Imagine your daughter doing this to you on social media. That's not what happened. I never said I was working. She's lying. But more comments poured in. You're calling your own mother a liar? Disgusting. This just proves you have no respect for her. Delete this post and apologize to your mother before you embarrass yourself further. Uncle Patrick commented, "I'm ashamed of you. Take this down now." I felt panic rising in my chest. This wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to see the truth. Instead, my mother had twisted it again, and now I looked even worse. Then the notification appeared. Your post has been reported for harassment and removed by Facebook. Gone. All the evidence I tried to share, deleted. My phone rang. Danny. Boss, you need to see this. The Google reviews. I pulled up Luna's Google page and felt sick. 38 one-star reviews now, and they were getting worse. Owner spreads lies about her family on social media. Toxic person. She's now publicly attacking her mother online. Absolutely disgusting. Never eating here. I came here once and the owner was rude. Not surprised she treats her mother this way. That last one was a lie. I'd never been rude to a customer. But it didn't matter. The narrative was set. I was the villain. Danny's voice came through the phone. "Boss, it gets worse. We've had 12 more cancellations this morning, and 2 of our suppliers just called. They're requesting immediate payment instead of our normal 30-day terms." "Why?" "They said they're concerned about the business's stability." I checked my bank account. After paying for food inventory and next week's payroll, I had enough to operate for maybe 3 more weeks. If the cancellations kept coming, I wouldn't make it that long. Another call came in. The landlord. "Miss Harrison, I've been receiving complaints about your business from other tenants in the building. They're concerned about the negative publicity affecting the property's reputation. I need to discuss your lease terms." "What does that mean?" "It means we may need to consider early termination if this situation doesn't improve." My world was collapsing. In less than 24 hours, I'd gone from a successful restaurant owner to someone on the verge of losing everything. I tried calling Jenna, the woman who'd sent me the screenshots. The number she'd emailed from was disconnected. I sent an email back. It bounced. Address not found. Either Jenna had given me a fake contact, or she disappeared. Either way, my only evidence was gone. Or was it? I pulled up the security footage from yesterday. There it was, clear as day. My mother handing Danny money and saying, "If Ariel shows up, don't let her in." I downloaded the footage and sent it to a local news station with a message. "I have proof my mother deliberately set me up to look bad. Please help me tell the truth." An hour later, a reporter called. Jessica Mills from Channel 7. "Ms. Harrison, I received your footage. Can I come by to discuss this?" "Yes, please. Thank you." Jessica arrived at noon. She was professional, mid-40s, with a notebook and a camera crew. We sat in my office, and I showed her everything: the text messages, the footage, the screenshots from Jenna. Jessica watched carefully. Then she said, "Miss Harrison, I appreciate you reaching out, but I have to be honest, this footage doesn't prove your mother banned you. It shows her paying for a private party, which is normal, and the screenshots could be fabricated. Without the original source to verify them, I can't use them." "But she's lying. She's destroying my business with lies." "I understand you're upset, but from a journalistic standpoint, this is a family dispute. Without concrete, verifiable evidence of wrongdoing, it's not a story I can run. I'm sorry." She left. I sat alone in my office, surrounded by evidence that apparently proved nothing. By evening, Luna's was a ghost town. We usually had 40 reservations on a Friday night. Tonight, we had 3 tables. 3. The staff stood around, nervously glancing at each other. Finally, Danny pulled me aside. "Boss, I need to talk to you. 2 of the servers gave their notice today. They said they can't afford to work somewhere that might close soon, and I'm worried about making rent next month if business doesn't pick up." "Danny, I'll fix this. I promise." "How? Every time you try to fight back, it gets worse. Maybe it's time to consider cutting your losses." That night, alone in the restaurant after everyone left, I sat at a table and cried. Really cried. The kind of crying where you can't catch your breath. I'd fought back. I'd tried to expose the truth. I'd done everything I could think of, and all I'd accomplished was digging myself into a deeper hole. My mother had won. She turned everyone against me. She'd destroyed my reputation. She'd brought my business to its knees. And the worst part? I had no idea how to stop it from getting even worse. Monday morning arrived like a funeral. I dressed in my best suit for the bank meeting, even though I felt like I was getting ready for my own execution. Robert Chen sat across from me in a sterile conference room, a stack of papers in front of him. "Miss Harrison, thank you for coming in. I'll be direct. The bank is concerned about Luna's viability given the recent negative publicity. We're seeing a pattern of declining revenue projections based on your reservation cancellations. It's temporary. This will blow over. Perhaps, but we have a fiduciary responsibility to protect our investments. We're not calling your loan yet, but we are adjusting the terms. Your interest rate is increasing from 4% to 7%, effective immediately, and will be requiring monthly financial reviews instead of quarterly. 7%? That would add nearly $500 to my monthly payment, money I didn't have. I signed the papers because I had no choice. When I got back to Luna's, Danny was waiting with his phone. Boss, you need to see this. It was a Facebook video. My mother sitting in her living room, tears streaming down her face. I don't know what to do anymore, she said, her voice breaking. My daughter, Ariel, has cut me out of her life. She refused to let me celebrate Thanksgiving at her restaurant. And when I tried to make other arrangements, she attacked me on social media. I raised her alone after her father died from cancer. I worked double shifts as a nurse to pay for her college, and this is how she repays me. She wiped her eyes. I love my daughter. I always will. But I don't recognize her anymore. Money has changed her. Success has changed her. She's not the sweet girl I raised. The video had 12,000 views. 300 comments, all supporting my mother. Margaret, you're so strong. Your daughter doesn't deserve you. I'm praying for you and your family. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. You should be ashamed of yourself. Your mother is a saint, and you're treating her like garbage. Then another. I hope your restaurant fails. You deserve it. And another. People like you make me sick. I blocked the numbers, but more came. Dozens of them. Hateful messages from strangers who'd seen my mother's video. That afternoon, a news van pulled up outside Luna's, but it wasn't Jessica Mills. It was a different station, Channel 12. The reporter, a young man named Marcus Webb, knocked on the door. Miss Harrison, we're doing a story on family conflicts in the restaurant industry. We'd love to get your perspective on the situation with your mother. I should have said no. I should have closed the door, but I was desperate. Come in. The interview lasted 20 minutes. I explained everything. The text message, the ban, the setup. Marcus nodded sympathetically, took notes, asked thoughtful questions. That night, the story aired. The headline, Local Restaurant Owner in Bitter Feud with Mother. They used 8 seconds of my interview. 8 seconds where I said, my mother has been manipulating this situation from the beginning. Then they showed 4 minutes of my mother's tearful video. The news anchor concluded, a sad situation where family bonds has been broken over business disagreements. Margaret Harrison declined to comment further, saying she hopes her daughter will one day understand the pain she's caused. I turned off the TV and threw the remote across the room. My phone rang. My landlord. Miss Harrison, I'm sorry, but I've received a petition from the other businesses in this building. They're requesting that I terminate your lease due to the negative attention your restaurant is bringing to the property. I'm legally obligated to give you 60 days notice, but I wanted to inform you that I'll be proceeding with eviction proceedings. You're evicting me? I don't have a choice. The other tenants have valid concerns about their businesses being affected by yours. 60 days. I had 60 days to save Luna's or lose everything. That weekend was a nightmare. Saturday night, we usually served 120 dinners. This Saturday, we served 18. Sunday morning, I got the email I'd been dreading. From the law offices of Patricia Whitmore, we represent Margaret Harrison in the matter of defamation and emotional distress caused by Ariel Harrison. My mother was suing me for $250,000, the exact value of my restaurant. The letter outlined her claims, that I'd publicly defamed her, that I'd caused her severe emotional distress, that I'd destroyed her reputation in the community. It included a settlement offer. Drop all accusations, close Luna's restaurant, issue a public apology, and pay $15,000 in damages. Otherwise, we'll proceed to court. I called a lawyer. The consultation cost $300 I didn't have. The lawyer, a tired-looking man named David Ross, reviewed the papers. Miss Harrison, I'll be honest. Even if you win this case, which is far from certain, the legal fees will bankrupt you. A case like this could drag on for a year, maybe 2. You're looking at $50,000 to $70,000 in legal costs, minimum. Your restaurant can't survive that. So what do I do? You could accept the settlement, give her everything she wants, close my restaurant? Or you could fight and lose everything anyway. Those are your options. I left his office feeling like I'd been hollowed out. That night, I sat in Luna's after closing, just me and the empty tables. Danny had left early. The remaining staff had cleaned in silence. Nobody made eye contact with me anymore. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. I'm a former patient of your mother. I saw the news. We need to talk. Please call me, Amanda. I stared at the message. It could be another trap, another setup, another person my mother had planted to make me look worse. But what did I have to lose? I called the number. Hello? A woman's voice, cautious but kind. This is Ariel. You texted me about my mother? Yes. Can we meet? I have information you need to hear, but not over the phone. Where? Luna's? Tomorrow at 10 a.m.? I know you're closed for lunch service. Okay. The call ended. I sat in the dark restaurant, wondering if I was about to walk into another disaster, or if this might be the lifeline I desperately needed. Amanda arrived exactly at 10 a.m. She was in her early 50s, with kind eyes and a nervous energy that reminded me of a bird ready to fly away at any sudden movement. We sat at a corner table. I'd made coffee, more out of habit than hospitality. Thank you for meeting me, she said, wrapping her hands around the cup. I wasn't sure you would. I wasn't sure I should. For all I know, you're working with my mother. She smiled sadly. I understand your suspicion. If I were you, I'd feel the same way. But I promise you, I'm probably the last person your mother would want you to talk to. Why is that? Amanda took a deep breath. 10 years ago, your mother was my nurse at General Hospital. I was there for a routine surgery, nothing major, gallbladder removal. Your mother was responsible for administering my post-surgery medications. She paused, staring into her coffee. She gave me the wrong dosage, 10 times the amount I should have received. I went into cardiac arrest. I was clinically dead for 2 minutes. The doctors managed to save me, but I have permanent heart damage now. I felt my stomach drop. Oh my God. When I woke up and found out what happened, I wanted to file a complaint. But the hospital convinced me not to. They said it would be my word against a respected nurse's. They offered me a settlement, $50,000, and a promise that they'd handle it internally. I was young and scared. I took the money. What happened to my mother? Nothing at first, but I found out later that the hospital did investigate quietly. They discovered she'd made similar errors before, not as severe, but a pattern. They transferred her to a different department. No official reprimand, no note in her record, just quietly moved her away from direct patient care. Why are you telling me this now? Because I saw her on the news crying about how you've wronged her. And it made me sick. Your mother is a master manipulator, Ariel. What she did to me, she's doing to you. She makes herself the victim. She turns everyone against the person who dares to question her. And she gets away with it because she's very, very good at playing the role of the wounded party. Amanda reached into her purse and pulled out a folder. I'm not the only one. After seeing the news coverage, I reached out to some people who might have similar stories. 3 of them agreed to talk to you. She opened the folder. Inside were contact names and numbers. This woman, Patricia Moore, was your mother's supervisor at the hospital. Your mother got her fired by filing false complaints about workplace harassment. Patricia tried to fight it, but your mother had already convinced the entire staff that Patricia was the problem. This man, Nathan Cole, was your mother's colleague. He witnessed one of her medication errors and reported it. Your mother accused him of stealing drugs from the pharmacy. He was investigated, cleared eventually, but his reputation was destroyed. He had to leave the medical field entirely. And this woman, Rachel Foster, was your mother's best friend for 15 years. When Rachel refused to lie for your mother during an investigation, your mother cut her off and told everyone Rachel had stolen money from her. Rachel lost half her friend group and had to move to a different city to escape the gossip. I looked at the names, my hands shaking. Do you have proof of any of this? Some. Patricia has emails. Nathan has copies of the investigation records. Rachel has text messages. It's not perfect, but it's something. Why didn't any of you come forward before? Amanda's eyes filled with tears. Because we were scared. Your mother is connected. She knows people. She's respected in the medical community. Who would believe us over her? But watching what she's doing to you made me realize that if we don't stop her, she'll just keep destroying people. She pushed the folder across the table. Call them, hear their stories, and then decide what you want to do with this information. After Amanda left, I sat with the folder for a long time. Part of me wanted to burn it. If I used this information, I'd be destroying my mother's career, her reputation, everything she built. But then I thought about Patricia, Nathan, and Rachel, people whose lives my mother had ruined without hesitation. I called the first number, Patricia Moore. She answered on the second ring. Hello? Miss Moore? My name is Ariel Harrison. Amanda gave me your number. Ariel? Yes, Amanda told me you might call. I'm so sorry for what your mother is putting you through. Amanda said you worked with my mother? I was her supervisor for 3 years. Best and worst 3 years of my career. Her laugh was bitter. Your mother is brilliant at her job when she wants to be, but she can't handle criticism, can't handle anyone questioning her decisions. What happened between you two? I caught her altering patient charts to cover up a medication error. Not a major one, but still serious enough to warrant a report. I confronted her privately, gave her a chance to admit it and correct it. She denied everything. 2 days later, she filed a complaint with HR saying I'd been sexually harassing her. What? Complete fabrication, but she was convincing. She cried in meetings. She had witnesses who'd seen me allegedly making inappropriate comments. All lies, but very detailed, very believable lies. HR investigated for 6 months. I was suspended without pay. Even after they cleared me, the damage was done. Everyone at the hospital looked at me differently. I resigned rather than continue working in that environment. Do you have documentation? I have emails, copies of the investigation, my termination papers that show I wasn't fired. I resigned under pressure. I kept everything because I thought someday I might need it. Would you be willing to share those with me? Yes, but Ariel, be careful. Your mother doesn't fight fair. If she knows you're coming after her with this, she'll escalate. She'll destroy you if she can. She's already trying. Then you have nothing to lose. I called Nathan next. His story was similar. Then Rachel. Each conversation added another layer to the picture of who my mother really was. By evening, I had emails full of documentation, photos of text messages, copies of hospital investigation reports, a recording Rachel had made of a conversation where my mother admitted to lying about the theft allegations. I had ammunition, real ammunition. But before I could figure out what to do with it, my phone rang. Brandon. Ariel, we need to talk. I'm not interested in hearing how terrible I am, Brandon. No, that's not why I'm calling. Can I come to the restaurant? Alone? Something in his voice made me pause. Okay, when? I'm outside. I opened the door to find my brother standing on the sidewalk, looking miserable. Come in. We sat at the same table where Amanda had sat hours earlier. I need to show you something, Brandon said. He pulled out his phone and scrolled through photos. Then he handed it to me. It was a document, a detailed plan written in my mother's handwriting. Phase 1. Book Luna's for Thanksgiving. Exclude Ariel publicly. Maximum humiliation. Phase 2. When Ariel reacts, paint her as vindictive and ungrateful. Use family and social media to destroy her reputation. Phase 3. Financial pressure. Encourage review bombing. Contact her suppliers and bank with concerns. Force her into debt. Phase 4. Legal action. Sue for defamation. Settlement terms, close Luna's, public apology, financial payment. Final goal. Acquire Luna's location for medical clinic. Developer already interested in property. Estimated profit, $400,000. I read it twice, my vision blurring with tears. I read it twice, my vision blurring with tears. Where did you find this? In Mom's desk. I was looking for her checkbook to pay a bill she asked me to handle. This was in the drawer underneath. How long have you known? Since yesterday. I confronted her about it this morning. She told me I was betraying the family by questioning her. She said, if I took your side, I'd be cut out of the inheritance, just like you. There is no inheritance, Brandon. She's broke. Amanda showed me evidence that Mom owes the hospital over $300,000 from a malpractice settlement they covered for her years ago. Brandon's face went pale. What? She's not building a medical clinic. She's trying to sell this location to a property developer to pay off her debts. She's been lying to everyone. I had no idea. Neither did I, but now we do. Brandon looked at the folder in front of me. What's all this? I showed him everything. Amanda's story, Patricia's documentation, Nathan's evidence, Rachel's recording. Mom destroyed all these people? Yes, and she was going to destroy me too. Maybe she still will. Brandon stood up and walked to the window, staring out at the street. What are you going to do? I don't know. If I expose her, she loses everything. Her reputation, her career, maybe her freedom, if any of these cases get reopened. But if I don't, she destroys me and moves on to the next person who gets in her way. What would Dad say? The question hit me like a physical blow. Our father had died when I was 16. He'd been the peacemaker in our family, the voice of reason. Dad would say that doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it's still right. Brandon turned to face me. I'm sorry, Ariel. I should have listened to you from the beginning. I should have questioned why Mom was so insistent that we all turn against you. I just wanted to keep the peace. I know. Whatever you decide to do, I'm with you. I'll back you up. I'll tell everyone the truth about what I found. For the first time in days, I felt something other than despair. I felt hope. But then my phone rang. Stephanie. Ariel, Mom knows that Brandon is at your restaurant. She's freaking out. She wants him to come home right now. She says you're poisoning him against her. Stephanie, do you know what Mom has been doing? I know she's been hurt by you. I know she's trying to protect this family from your selfishness. That's not true. She's been lying to all of us. Brandon found proof. She planned this entire thing to destroy me and steal my restaurant. You're lying. Mom would never do that. Ask Brandon yourself. There was a pause. Then Stephanie's voice, smaller. Is that true, Brandon? My brother took the phone. Yeah, Steph, it's true. I found her plan, written in her own handwriting. She's been manipulating all of us. I heard crying on the other end. Then the line went dead. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Stephanie, from my friend's phone. I need to meet you, but not at the restaurant. Mom has people watching it. There's a coffee shop on Riverside. Tomorrow at 7 a.m.? Okay. That night, I barely slept. I kept thinking about my father, about what he would want me to do. And slowly, a plan formed in my mind. Not revenge, not destruction, something else. Something my father would approve of. I arrived at the coffee shop at 6:45 a.m., deliberately early. The place was nearly empty, just a few early morning regulars with their laptops and newspapers. Stephanie walked in at 7 sharp. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. Not the put-together younger sister I was used to seeing. She ordered a coffee and sat across from me without saying anything for a long moment. I went through Mom's office last night, she finally said. After Brandon told me what he found, I wanted to prove him wrong. And? I found more. Emails to her lawyer about forcing you into bankruptcy. Text messages with Uncle Patrick where she literally told him exactly what to post on Facebook about you. A contract with a real estate developer offering her $400,000 for this location. She pulled out her phone and showed me screenshots. And this is the worst one. It was an email dated 2 months ago, before I'd even opened Luna's. To Harrison Family Trust. From Margaret Harrison. Subject, regarding Ariel's loan request. I'm writing to formally oppose Ariel's request for $20,000 from the family trust. However, I believe we should approve the loan with one modification. I want the restaurant location deed to include a clause that if Ariel defaults on any payments or closes the business within 2 years, ownership automatically transfers to me. This protects the family's investment. Stephanie's hands were shaking. Mom set you up from the beginning. She wanted you to fail so she could take the location. I felt numb. Did the trust approve that clause? No. Uncle Patrick vetoed it. He said it was too harsh, so Mom changed tactics. She decided to force me to fail instead. Yeah. We sat in silence for a while. The coffee shop's background music felt absurdly cheerful. There's more, Stephanie said quietly. Mom came to my apartment last night. She told me if I didn't publicly support her against you, she'd cut me out of the family. No more college tuition money, no more car insurance, no more health insurance, nothing. Stephanie, you're 23. You're in law school. You can't afford to lose that support. I know, but I also can't lie for her anymore. She's destroying you, Ariel. And for what? Money to pay off debts she created through her own mistakes? What are you going to do? Stephanie took a deep breath. I'm going to tell the truth, whatever it costs me. I'll figure out student loans, I'll get a job, I'll manage, but I can't be part of this anymore. She pushed a flash drive across the table. Everything I found is on here. Emails, documents, the contract with the developer, text messages, all of it. You know what this means, right? If I use this, Mom's life is over. Her reputation, her career, everything. She made that choice when she decided to destroy yours. I picked up the flash drive, feeling its weight. Such a small thing to hold so much destruction. I need to think about this. Ariel, while you're thinking, Mom is acting. She filed a motion yesterday to freeze your business bank account pending the lawsuit. Her lawyer is arguing that you might try to hide assets. The hearing is tomorrow. Tomorrow? She's not giving you time to recover. She wants you finished. After Stephanie left, I went to Luna's. It was Monday, so we were closed, but I needed the familiar space to think. I called the lawyer, David Ross. Miss Harrison, I was about to call you. I heard about the motion to freeze your accounts. Can she do that? She can try. We'll oppose it at tomorrow's hearing. But I have to warn you, even if we win this motion, the legal fees are mounting. You've already spent $5,000, and we're just getting started. I have new evidence about my mother's real intentions. I told him about the documents, the plan, the developer contract, the debt. That's good. That could help with the defamation case. But Ariel, even with this evidence, you're looking at months of litigation. Can your restaurant survive that long? I looked around Luna's. Empty tables, darkened kitchen, a dream that was dying. No, it can't. Then you need to make a decision, fight and lose everything, or find another way. After he hung up, I sat in my office and did something I hadn't done since my father's funeral. I prayed. Not for victory, not for revenge, just for clarity. And somehow, in the quiet of that empty restaurant, I knew what I had to do. I called my mother's lawyer. This is Ariel Harrison. I want to meet with Margaret, just the two of us, no lawyers. I have a proposal. 2 hours later, my mother walked into Luna's. She looked older than I remembered, tired, but there was still that hard edge in her eyes. Ariel. Mom, thanks for coming. Your lawyer said you had a proposal. I'm listening. I didn't offer her coffee. I didn't ask her to sit. I just walked to my office and came back with a folder. I know everything, Mom. I know about the malpractice debts, the plan to take Luna's and sell to the developer, the people you've destroyed over the years to protect yourself. Her face went pale, but she recovered quickly. I don't know what lies people have been telling you. I have documentation, emails, text messages, recorded conversations, witness statements from Patricia Moore, Nathan Cole, Rachel Foster, and Amanda Chin. I have your handwritten plan to destroy my restaurant. I have the contract with the developer. I laid it all out on the table between us. I could destroy you with this, Mom. I could send it to the medical board, the hospital, the police, the media. You'd lose your nursing license. You'd probably face criminal charges for malpractice cover-ups. The hospital might reopen their investigation into those old cases. You'd lose everything. She stared at the documents, her hand trembling slightly. But I'm not going to do that, because unlike you, I don't win by destroying people. So here's what's going to happen. I pulled out a legal document I'd spent 3 hours drafting with David Ross. You're going to drop the lawsuit immediately. You're going to post a public apology on Facebook, admitting that you misunderstood the situation and that you were wrong to attack me. You're going to personally contact every single person who left a negative review and ask them to remove it. You're going to stay out of my life completely. No contact, no interference, nothing. And in exchange? In exchange, I don't release any of this evidence, and I'll lend you $50,000, interest-free, to help with your debts. Payment terms are flexible. If you need 5 years to pay it back, fine. If you need 10, fine. I'm not trying to profit from you. I'm trying to help you, because despite everything, you're still my mother. She looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Why would you help me after what I did to you? Because Dad taught me that breaking the cycle of hurt is more important than perpetuating it. Because I don't want to become you. And because somewhere under all this bitterness and manipulation, I still remember the mom who sat with me in the hospital when I had pneumonia. The mom who taught me to ride a bike. The mom who cried at my high school graduation. Tears started rolling down her face. Real tears, not the performative ones from her videos. I don't deserve this. No, you don't, but I'm offering it anyway. Take it or leave it. She sat down heavily in a chair. What if I refuse? What if I keep fighting? Then I release everything. You lose your license, your reputation, and possibly your freedom. And you still lose Luna's because I'll file for bankruptcy before I let you take it. You get nothing except the satisfaction of destroying me on your way down. Is that really what you want? She was quiet for a long time. Then she picked up the pen I'd placed next to the agreement. Where do I sign? Right there, and here, and here. She signed. Her hand shook, but she signed. Now what? Now you go home. Tomorrow you post the apology. You start making those calls, and you never contact me again unless I reach out first. She stood, looking smaller somehow. Defeated. I really thought I was doing the right thing. I thought if I could just make you see that you were throwing your life away. You weren't trying to save me, Mom. You were trying to control me. There's a difference. She nodded slowly. Your father would be ashamed of me. Yeah, he would. She walked to the door, then paused. For what it's worth, I am sorry. Not just because I got caught. I'm sorry for what I became. Somewhere along the way, I forgot how to be a mother and only remembered how to be right. Then she left. I stood alone in the restaurant, holding the signed agreement, and I cried. Not from sadness, from exhaustion, from relief, from grief for the mother I'd lost long before today. But also from hope. Because for the first time in weeks, I could breathe. My phone rang. Brandon. Did she sign? Yeah. I can't believe you're helping her after everything. Neither can I, but it's done. Stephanie and I are proud of you. What you did took more strength than destroying her would have. We'll see if she actually follows through. If she doesn't, we'll all release the evidence together. But I think she will. I think you finally got through to her. That night, I went home and slept for 12 hours straight. The apology went live at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. To my daughter Ariel, and to everyone who has been following this painful situation, I need to admit that I was wrong. I misunderstood Ariel's intentions regarding our Thanksgiving plans, and I allowed my hurt feelings to cloud my judgment. I said things that weren't true. I encouraged others to judge her unfairly. Ariel did not refuse to serve me at her restaurant. I created a situation that made it look that way because I was angry and wanted to hurt her the way I felt she'd hurt me. That was wrong. Ariel has been nothing but gracious and kind, even when I didn't deserve it. I'm deeply sorry for the pain I've caused her and for the damage to her business. If you left a negative review of Luna's because of my actions, I ask that you please remove it. My daughter deserves better than what I've given her. I hope someday she can forgive me. Margaret Harrison. Within an hour, the comments started pouring in, but this time they were different. Thank you for being honest, Margaret. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. I'm glad you and Ariel are working things out. Family is precious. I removed my review. I'm sorry, Ariel. The Google reviews started disappearing. One by one, the one-star reviews that had destroyed my rating vanished. By noon, Luna's was back up to 4.7 stars. My phone rang constantly. Customers who'd canceled reservations calling to rebook. Suppliers apologizing and restoring our normal payment terms. Even the landlord called. Miss Harrison, in light of recent developments, the other tenants and I have discussed the situation. We'd like to withdraw the eviction proceedings. We're sorry for jumping to conclusions. But the biggest surprise came from Channel 7. Jessica Mills, the reporter who'd initially turned me down, called personally. Ariel, I saw your mother's apology. I want to do a follow-up story if you're willing. About how you and your family work through this conflict. A positive piece about reconciliation and forgiveness. I appreciate it, but I think we've all had enough publicity. I understand, but if you change your mind, the offer stands. Danny arrived at the restaurant around 2 p.m. with the biggest smile I'd seen in weeks. Boss, you're not going to believe this. We're fully booked for the next 3 weekends, and I've got a waiting list for Friday night that's already at 40 people. 40? The apology went viral. People are calling it the most honest thing they've seen on social media in years. They want to support you. They want to eat at the restaurant owned by the woman who chose kindness over revenge. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so I did both. That evening, Brandon and Stephanie came by. We sat at a table in the empty restaurant before dinner service started. How are you holding up? Brandon asked. Honestly, I'm exhausted, but I'm okay. Stephanie handed me an envelope. This is from me. It's not much, but I got a part-time job as a legal assistant. First paycheck. I want to invest in Luna's as a real investor, not as charity, because I believe in what you're building. I opened the envelope. A check for $500. Stephanie, you need this for school. I need my sister more. Take it. Brandon pulled out his phone. I've been documenting everything on my social media, the whole story. Not to trash Mom, but to show what real accountability looks like. A lot of my followers are asking how they can support Luna's. I was thinking we could do a special event, a family reconciliation dinner. Me, you, Stephanie, show people that healing is possible. What about Mom? I think that's up to you. Do you want her there? I thought about it. Not yet. Maybe someday. But right now, I need space to rebuild. They both nodded understanding. The next morning, I got an email from an unexpected source. Patricia Moore, the supervisor my mother had destroyed. Dear Ariel, I saw your mother's apology. I also saw how you handled the entire situation with grace and strength. I want you to know that I'm not pressing charges or pursuing any legal action against your mother. What you did, offering her a way forward instead of destruction, inspired me. If you can forgive that deeply, I can let go of my anger too. Thank you for showing me what real strength looks like. Patricia. Similar emails came from Nathan and Rachel, each one thanking me for not using their stories as weapons. Each one choosing to move forward rather than backward. Amanda called. I heard about the settlement. You're a better person than I am, Ariel. I just did what felt right. What felt right was also incredibly brave. Your mother could have refused. She could have kept fighting. You took a huge risk. I know, but I couldn't destroy her. I just couldn't. That's why you're going to be okay. People like you always land on their feet. Friday night, Luna's was packed. Every table full. The kitchen running at full capacity. Danny managing the floor like a conductor leading an orchestra. I stood in the kitchen doorway, watching the organized chaos, and felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Peace. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is your mother. From a new phone. I know you said no contact unless you reached out first, but I wanted you to know I completed all the calls. Every person has been contacted. Most removed their reviews. Some told me what they thought of me, and I deserved every word. I'm starting therapy next week. Not because you asked me to, but because I need to figure out how I became someone I don't recognize. Thank you for the loan. I'll pay you back. And thank you for not destroying me when you could have. You're a better person than I ever taught you to be. That's all your father's influence. I won't contact you again unless you want me to, but I hope someday you do. I love you, Mom. If I was ever ready. The dinner rush continued until almost 11 p.m. When the last customer left, the staff gathered around the bar. Danny raised a glass. To the boss, the toughest person I know. To Ariel, they echoed. We drank together, and for the first time since Thanksgiving, I felt like I was home. Later that night, after everyone had left, I stood in the empty restaurant one more time. I thought about my father, about the lessons he'd taught me, about choosing kindness even when it was hard, especially when it was hard. I pulled out my phone and sent a text to Brandon and Stephanie. How would you two feel about having Thanksgiving at Luna's next year? Just us. No drama, no expectations, just family. Both responded within seconds. I'm in. Absolutely. I smiled. Next year, a new beginning, a real family Thanksgiving. But first, I had a restaurant to run. 6 months have passed since that devastating Thanksgiving. 6 months since my mother tried to destroy me, and I chose to save her instead. Luna's is thriving. We expanded our hours, hired 3 new staff members, got written up in the city's top food magazine as the restaurant with heart. The reviewers said our food was excellent, but what made Luna special was the story behind it. A story about choosing forgiveness over vengeance. I paid off the bank loan early with the surge in business. The landlord apologized so profusely he reduced our rent by $200 a month. Some of the customers who originally canceled their reservations have become regulars, telling me they respect how I handled the situation. My mother kept her word. She's been in therapy for 6 months. She got a job at a small community clinic, doing less stressful work. She's making payments on the loan, $50 a month, which is what she can afford. I don't need the money, but I accept it because I know she needs to feel like she's making amends. Brandon stopped by last week with news. He's engaged. He wants to have the wedding reception at Luna's. Stephanie graduated law school and passed the bar exam. She's working for a firm that specializes in medical malpractice cases, helping people who've been hurt by the kind of cover-ups our mother used to participate in. We've had dinner together a few times. Me, Brandon, and Stephanie. No mother, not yet. We're taking it slow. Healing doesn't happen overnight. But last week, something happened that changed things. I got a letter, handwritten, in my mother's careful script. I've read that letter every day for a week, and yesterday, I did something I didn't think I was ready for. I texted her, "Coffee next Tuesday, 10 a.m. at Riverside Coffee?" She responded within seconds, "I'll be there. Thank you." I don't know what Tuesday will bring. I don't know if we can ever rebuild what was broken, but I know I have to try. Not for her, for me. Because holding on to anger was killing me slowly, and letting it go set me free. The lessons I learned through this nightmare are ones I'll carry forever. Family isn't just who you're related to by blood. It's who stands by you when things get hard. Brandon and Stephanie proved that. Danny and my staff proved that. Amanda, Patricia, Nathan, and Rachel proved that. Standing up for yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. I spent so long trying to please my mother that I almost lost myself in the process. Learning to say no and mean it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it saved my life. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or accepting. It means releasing the hold someone's actions have on your heart. I forgave my mother not because what she did was okay, but because carrying that burden was destroying me. Forgiveness was a gift I gave myself. And finally, I learned that sometimes losing what you thought you needed helps you find what you truly deserve. I thought I needed my mother's approval to be happy. I thought I needed her validation to feel successful. But losing her forced me to find my own strength, my own worth, my own path. Today is Thanksgiving again, 1 year since the text message that nearly destroyed me. This year, we're doing things differently. I'm hosting dinner at Luna's. Brandon, Stephanie, Danny and his family, Amanda and her husband, Patricia, Nathan, Rachel. Everyone who stood by me or showed me what grace looks like. And yes, my mother. She'll be there too. At a table in the corner, quiet and humble, trying to earn her way back into this family she nearly destroyed. I'm making all of my father's favorite dishes. Turkey with sage stuffing, honey-glazed carrots, cranberry sauce from scratch, pumpkin pie with real whipped cream. Before we eat, I'll ask everyone to share what they're grateful for. And when it's my turn, I'll say this. I'm grateful for hard times that taught me who I really am. I'm grateful for betrayal that showed me the value of real loyalty. I'm grateful for the people who stood by me when it would have been easier to walk away. I'm grateful for the strength I didn't know I had until I needed it. And I'm grateful that sometimes losing everything helps you understand what truly matters. This restaurant, Luna's, is named after my father's favorite saying, "Even in the darkest night, the moon still shines." He'd say that when things got tough, when he was sick and we were all scared, when money was tight and we didn't know how we'd pay the bills. Even in the darkest night, the moon still shines. My darkest night taught me that he was right. Even when everything seemed lost, there was still light, still hope, still possibility. So here's my message to anyone listening to this story. If someone is trying to destroy you, don't become them to survive. Find another way. If family is toxic, it's okay to create distance. Love yourself enough to protect your peace. If you're being manipulated, trust your instincts. The truth always finds a way to the surface. And if you're facing your own darkest night, remember, you're stronger than you think. The people who truly love you will stand beside you. And sometimes, the greatest victory isn't destroying your enemy, but refusing to let them destroy you. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to stand up to a family member who was hurting you? How did you handle it? What would you have done in my situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story resonated with you, if it helped you feel less alone in your own struggles, please hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more real-life stories about overcoming betrayal, finding strength, and choosing grace over revenge. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's fighting their own battle right now. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reminding me that vulnerability and honesty matter. I wish you all a Thanksgiving filled with real family, genuine love, and the courage to choose your own path. Remember, even in the darkest night, the moon still shines. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.